Going the distance with local sports. This is the X Sports Network.
Here at Fields and Brown Barbershop, legacy means a lot. We're trying to fill big shoes left by my two uncles and my grandfather, where every haircut came with conversation and every customer left a little taller than when they walked in. The barbershop is about pride. It's about knowing your barber knows your name and your story. Come see us at Fields and Brown Barbershop, where tradition never goes out of style. 3 generations, 1 legacy, your barbershop.
Arctic Air keeps your home or business comfortable. For more than 20 years, we provided outstanding residential and commercial services through southern Middle Tennessee. Whether you need assistance with your heat, air conditioning, preventive maintenance, or anything in between, trust our reliable team to get the job done. We'll take the time to figure out your specific needs and recommend what we believe is right and best for your situation.
We've been using Arctic Air for over 15 years now. Their service is great, they're here when we need them, and their prices are competitive. They take the worry out of the heat and air so I don't have to.
Arctic Air. When you need us, we'll be there.
Financial advisor Scott Beasley knows time spent with family is everything. As a founder of Beasley Wealth Management, his mission is to give clients the freedom to enjoy time with family without the burden of financial concerns. A local of Lawrenceburg, Scott deeply values building relationships with clients, ensuring they make informed decisions concerning asset management, tax planning, and retirement planning. Offering a free initial consultation, Beasley Wealth Management helps clients pursue their aspirations with confidence. A local law firm respected throughout the state. Generations of clients have turned to Boston, Holt, and Durham since 1948. We assist individuals and businesses with their legal needs, including real estate, property closings, personal injury, employment discrimination, and family law. Our clients get the personal attention and convenience of a hometown law firm with the resources and ability to handle any case. Come see us at Boston, Holt, and Durham.
Going the distance with local sports. This is the X Sports Network.
And welcome everybody here to X Sports Today. AJ Good, joined by Bryant, Gobble, and Michael Marks. Guys, it is time to get ready. Week number 8 in college football. It's week number 9 in high school football, and week number 7 in the NFL. But before we get to all of that, guys, it's a Major League Baseball to talk about. I guess no one in the American League wants to win at home. We got the Mariners winning 2 in Toronto. Now the Blue Jays winning 2 in Seattle. And Seattle had it set up. 3 games, and all you got to do is, win 2 out of 3 at home, and you're winning that series. And you draw 2, and next thing you know, it's even.
Well, you go into Game 3 at home, top of the bottom of the first inning. Yeah. Julio Rodriguez hits the 2-run home run. You're up 2-0. And since then, you get outscored 13-2 the remainder of that game. And then yesterday, I mean, it was a little bit better, I guess, 8-2. I mean, deficit-wise, a little closer, but I mean, still one and the same. Just you got your doors blown off. I mean, pretty much, and that's slated us up for a really good Game 5 tonight.
Yeah.
Do we feel like it's inevitable, like it doesn't matter who wins this game? Do we feel like it doesn't matter? Because I feel like it doesn't matter. The Dodgers are going to dog walk whoever they meet in the series.
I think the Dodgers pitching is better.
Yeah.
And it's certainly showing it.
Yeah.
But Toronto's definitely has the bats, and it's starting to come out. Seattle, I like Toronto's pitching better than I do Seattle against the Dodgers. But Seattle's certainly got some bats that could have. I mean, I like the offense that they have, but I think the Mariners got a couple good pitchers, the Blue Jays got a couple good pitchers, but are you really going to rely on an aging Max Scherzer. Yeah, he gave you a great game last night.
How many more can you give?
You're going to need at least 2 good starts out of him in a 7-game series. You might not get that out of him here, let alone 2 more in the World Series.
And I thought, in my mind, in Seattle going into this season, the one thing they didn't have to worry about was their pitching staff. You got George Kirby, you got Logan Gilbert, Brian Wu, Luis Castillo, and I mean, it feels like half of those guys have been no-shows for you, really. I mean, Castillo got shelled last night. Didn't even make it out of the 3rd inning, so they're going to need their pitching to step up if they want to make it out of this series. And good luck in the World Series at that point, because the Dodgers bats have been good against subpar pitching.
Yeah,
I think you can enjoy this series. I'm not either for or against either one of these teams. Just as a baseball fan, you can enjoy a 2-2 series for a trip to go to a chance to go to the World Series. So I'll enjoy this, and I don't know if the World Series can be competitive. I could be wrong. I
mean, it's certainly, I think you're right, Brian. I think this certainly feels like a 5-game at best series for whoever comes out, because hopefully Ohtani's on the mound tonight. The Brewers are probably going to go to another bullpen game, which, you can only do that so many times throughout the course of a playoffs. And
because then you're throwing the same 3 guys out there pretty much every day. Right. And once you hit them once, I mean, it makes it that much easier the next time.
I think the moment the Dodgers won 1 in Milwaukee, the series was over.
Because, see, that was the thing that the Cubs couldn't get done. They lost those first 2 games.
Win one.
If you win one of those games, it's a 4-game series. You win that one in Chicago, and now it's the Cubs down 3-0 to the Dodgers, and not the Brewers.
Well, I think everything that the Brewers, all their issues, lack of hitting, lack of power hitting, got a good bullpen, but their starting pitching isn't great.
Mm-hmm.
You can put it together for a 5-game stretch.
Yeah.
But can you extend that to another series and then another series beyond that? I mean, the Brewers were the better team against the Cubs. I'll never say anything. Actually, they were a better team at home against the Cubs than the Cubs were on the road. If that, again, that's up to the Cubs playing better in the regular season and getting that series at home rather than having to go to Milwaukee. But again, they beat them. They beat them fair and square. There was no cheating.
And the thing is, the Brewers in that Cubs that Brewers Cubs series, the Brewers were playing very out of their norm. They were hitting home runs, striking everybody out, that, and the other. And now they've kind of come back to where they're not hitting any home runs. They're getting some decent outings, but not enough to get it done. And the Dodgers are really good at capitalizing off other teams' mistakes. They've done it the whole postseason.
As the old saying goes, guys, it's not how you get hot, it's when you get hot. And the Dodgers got hot, the Brewers got hot there in that series, especially at home. And hey, they got that far when a lot of people didn't think they'd get that far. So
props to them.
NFL last night, a shocker. I did not see the Bengals and Joe Flacco throwing for 342 yards, 3 touchdowns, 31 of 47.
Welcome back.
He's now won a game with 3 different NFC North. And, I think this is Rodgers last year. If he goes to Pittsburgh next year, it would be the most spectacular thing ever. But, man, he turned back the hands of time. I mean, first quarter was rough, those first couple of drives. But, man, that second quarter beyond, he was unlocked. I mean, you're going to trust a guy that old to throw the ball 47 times, and he does that well for you. It's pretty impressive.
Yeah, is it 2014 or 2025? I mean, I can't tell. We have Joe Flacco and Aaron Rodgers having a shootout.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just absolutely crazy. But, hey, listen. Joe Flacco did something that Jake Browning couldn't. He realized he has the best wide receiver in the NFL on his team. And he got 16 catches for 160 yards last night, and his touchdown was the difference in the game.
I think that 16 catches was franchise record from what I saw. 16 catches in a game. Insane. Just feed him the ball. He looked good. Flacco looked good. I mean, Rodgers looked good too. He had 4 touchdown passes. 3. Okay, so good for them. Like 2 Super Bowl winning quarterbacks who have gone through it these past few years. I think it was just good for football, like good for the game, good for the NFL to see those 2 guys battle it out. We were making fun of one of my best friends who's a Ravens fan, diehard Ravens fan. We're like, okay, Flacco may be the better Ravens quarterback because Flacco was making the throws. I don't know if y'all guys saw it scramble, but like he scrambled around the left side at the end of the game. I was listening to Late Night on NFL Prime. And I think they said that was like a busted play or something. Yeah. And he just saw the opening. He's like, I got to take it. And he was going down the field.
12 yards. Yeah. I mean, it was an impressive
Who's
play.
The better rushing quarterback? Is it Lamar Jackson or is it Joe Flacco? Can't believe it.
I've always heard NFL guys say that Dan Marino is one of the best in-pocket his mobile quarterbacks. No one thinks of him as a runner.
Sure.
But how he can manipulate a pocket. Ben Roethlisberger is the same way. Ben Roethlisberger was fat. Let's just put it.
They call him Big Ben for a reason.
I've been in the Steelers locker room with him after a game. He's not impressive to look at. He's just tall and he's fat, but the way he can move around a pocket, the way he can manipulate his body and read defensive lines and make busted plays work. I mean, that Flacco's got that. Those experienced guys, they're the ones that make that work. But the Bengals running game, 142 yards, 23 carries. Chase Brown had 108 yards, and T. Higgins had 96 yards. Noah Fant had 44 yards and a touchdown. Like, get it to your playmakers, and that's something Jake Browning struggled with, and the reason why they had to bring in a Joe or make the trade for a Joe Flacco. And I don't want to say this is a season-saving move because you can't rely on aging quarterbacks, guys especially move around. But that could have been this might be the guy that keeps us afloat.
Well, I would say it can salvage your record enough that if Joe Burrow is able to come back and you look and we talked about this I think last week that if you look in there 4-8 when he's ready slated to come back, he's not going to come back. But say they're 7-5, 8-4, maybe even. I mean, that would have to go on a bit of a winning streak for that, but maybe even 7-5, 6-4, he could come back and still lead them into a playoff series.
And the Bengals right now, guys, they're 3-4 overall, but they're 3-1 within the AFC.
That's big.
So they're not playing great against the NFC, but then again, only X amount of your games are going to be in the AFC. So they're sitting right now ninth. Playoff wise, you win a few, especially if you keep knocking off the teams within your division. Your chances are much better.
Their division is wide open. I mean, they get the Steelers again in November, and they win that game. The Ravens aren't winning the division this year. They're not looking good. I mean, they could turn it around and I guess compete, but I don't foresee that happening with the way they've struggled out of the gate. So what are your other options? The Browns? Do we expect the Browns to push the Steelers? No, we're not expecting that at all. So, I mean, it is theoretical that that Joe Flacco could steer the ship until I think I saw today Joe Burrow is on track to get back maybe mid-December. So that would be great. And they had
that's like a week 9, week 10 return.
Right. Yeah. So they have some winnable games. Their upcoming schedule is versus the Jets, the Bears, the Steelers, the Patriots. Patriots are looking good, but the Bears are beatable. Obviously, they just showed that the Steelers are beatable. They play the Ravens again, and the Ravens haven't looked hot around Thanksgiving. They played the Dolphins. They got the Cardinals. They got the Browns. All those,
a ton of winnable games.
Those are all games that they could win and easily get to like 9-8 on the season. And
that'll get you a playoff spot.
And it can win your division with that how down the division is, and potentially get you wild card at the worst.
Yeah. Absolutely. Well, guys, coming up next, we will dive into it. We'll take a look at everything going down in week number 8 in college football. That will be when we return here on, if I get to the commercials, X Sports Today.
Since opening our doors in 1904, Builtwell Bank has existed to be the local economic engine for the communities we serve. No matter if you're buying a car, saving for retirement, or finally buying that forever home, Builtwell Bank is here to help. From personal checking and savings accounts to a full suite of business and commercial banking with treasury management services, we'll make sure you'll have a dedicated Builtwell banker that understands your unique needs and stands by you every step of the way. No matter where you are in Tennessee or Northwest Georgia, there's likely a Builtwell Bank location nearby. Come see us and let our dedicated financial team help you with all of your banking needs. Member FDIC.
Fast, friendly, and reliable service is our promise to you, because you're not just a customer, you're family. From multi-use linen to branded floor coverings and a complete range of cleaning supplies, C&B Linen is here to make sure you have everything you need. From our high-quality products to our fast, friendly, and reliable service, you'll experience the difference with C&B Linen. Because you're not just a client, you're part of our family. You'll be winning with C&V Linen.
Got a dent, a ding, a scratch, or a bent fender? Major or minor, Car Country Collision Center in Leoma can fix you up. Car Country works with all insurance carriers, gives free estimates, can work on foreign and domestic vehicles, and has experience you can trust. They've been in business since 1990. Unfortunately, accidents happen, but you can get your car back on the road with as little hassle as possible with the help of Car Country. Call 931-852-4708 or stop by at 2567 Highway 43 South in Leoma.
Going the distance with local sports. This is the X Sports Network.
All right, guys, back here on X Sports Today, getting you ready. It's college football. We go to week number 8. Got some big games, guys. We got a lot of top 25. We got some top 10s, or just on the outside of top 10s coming up. And not a ranked v ranked matchup per se tonight, but we got a big one tonight. Louisville is at Miami, and something about it. I know. I keep saying like, well, Miami has the trap at Pitt at the end of the year, but if you remember, I think it was last year or 2 years ago, Miami at Virginia Tech on a Friday night, and it was last year.
It was last year.
It was on a Friday night, and that was the controversial Hail Mary. That was or wasn't, and Miami was able to pull that out. But there's something about
that was the game that got the ACC replay with the headphones now.
That was something about Friday night games of Miami against any sort of decent ACC opponent. Louisville's that decent ACC opponent. Miller Moss wanting to come in and make a statement. And when you look at Miami's schedule and you really break it down, outside of SMU, this might be their biggest test left when you look at the rest of the schedule.
Yeah, I 100% think it is. If they're going to lose a regular season game, this would be the one to do. Louisville's going to have to hit some big plays, though. They've struggled the past couple of weeks. They've kind of gone away from running the ball. Isaac Brown hasn't been as dominant as of late. But Miller Moss has been throwing the ball really well. And if his offensive line can keep him up, he's been sacked a lot in the last 2 weeks. If they can keep him upright, they have a chance to put up some points, but I just think Miami's too big in the trenches.
Miami's good. I think Carson Beck has really improved. I think Louisville, things could get weird. It's not like Miami has a great home field advantage. I mean, do y'all think otherwise? Like, it's
when they're good, they do.
Okay.
I would say they have chances.
Middle of the road,
do we expect a big crowd to come out and watch a football game on a Friday night in Miami?
You could get in for $14.
Yeah, I was going to say.
No. Everybody's got
other. Most of the clubs in South Beach have a price to get in bigger than that.
I think it depends on the opponent.
Sure.
It depends on how good the team is. They are good right now, but their best opponent, like the place is packed for Notre Dame.
Yeah, it was. That was a really good crowd.
The place is packed for Notre Dame. The place is packed for USF. It's to your point, Brian. It's not going to be packed for Louisville on a Friday night.
So home field advantage isn't there, which works in Louisville's favor.
Yeah.
I still think Miami's too good. I think they handle it, but could be close. The spread's 10.5. I definitely think Louisville covers that.
Yeah, I would say I think Louisville could make it a little interesting, but I just see Miami being too big in the trenches, and when Louisville ends up trying something that, maybe a trick play, Miller Moss gets sacked and fumbles, or has a pick, or they send the house at Carson Beck and get a free touchdown. I just feel like that's going to play a big factor, and it's going to go towards Miami.
Night game on Fox. Nebraska back into the top 25, 5-1 at 4-2 Minnesota. Both teams 2-1 within the Big Ten. The Cornhuskers 7.5-point favorites. I like Nebraska a lot. I think they're playing really good at this point. And PJ Fleck teams just do not play well on any day other than Saturday. They just don't. So I mean, 7.5. I think the Cornhuskers cover. It might take them till late in the fourth quarter to cover, but I think they cover.
I would say it was something we talked about on Mark My Words earlier. Railway had 3 interceptions interceptions in his last game against Maryland, and that kept Maryland in that ball game. If they force him to throw it that much and he makes mistakes like that, Minnesota would be huge to capitalize on him. But I think the emergence of Nebraska's running back Emmett Johnson later in this season has been huge for them and allows their offense to show more of a run look, and I think that's going to help them tonight. And I like Nebraska in this one as well.
I'd like Nebraska if Raylo quit being weird. I mentioned that talking to Michael earlier. Just quit being weird, dude. Just play football and quit the Patrick Mahomes.
Don't be the second Patrick Mahomes.
Quit being Patrick Mahomes. You're a grown man. Quit being a weirdo. Gosh.
Yeah, UNC at Cal 7.5-point favorites. I think Cal rolls in there.
Yeah.
Just something. Cal's a special place on a Friday night. They picked up a lot. This isn't a big win, but that's not a place.
Listen, that's Cal getting a win over Bill Belichick.
Yeah,
they would love that.
Yeah, that might get Justin Wilcox an extra year on his
could.
extension. Let's go to the Saturday games right off the get-go, just down the road here in Nashville. LSU at Vandy. Vandy is a 1.5-point favorite. And if I were to tell you that it's more expensive to get into that game than it is Tennessee and Bama by $108.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
SeatGeek's got some weird numbers over there.
Then again, Vandy's got like half the stadium.
Yeah, it's like 65,000 versus 100.
Nashville's a little bigger city than Tuscaloosa. Yeah.
But that's the first game here, and I really like Vandy.
Yeah.
This is LSU just. I don't think they fully have it together defensively. I don't think they fully have it together offensively. And Vandy's is who they are. They make no mistake of who they are. I think they score enough and they get enough stops to win here.
Yeah, I don't know if I've said this stat to you. I've said it to probably everybody in this office at least twice this week, that since 1978, Vanderbilt has played 177 ranked games, or games versus ranked opponents. And this is the first time in the however many years that is, 47 years that they've been favored. So
point and a half.
Pick them at this point.
Yeah, it is. Well, especially with the home, I think home field advantage gives you a point or two either way. If this was in Death Valley, I wouldn't like it.
This team went to Death Valley at night last year and only lost 24-17, I believe it was. Yeah. I think this one favors Vandy a lot because I think LSU has done nothing but regress since last season with really both sides of the ball.
They feel like they're regressing week by week.
Yeah, it really does. And Vanderbilt's getting better year by year. They were a lot better at this point this year than they were at that point last year. And it looks like LSU is going to be without their leading rusher, Caden Durham, in an already lackluster running room. I just think that this one favors Vandy big time.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, going to ACC, a battle for who might be fighting for Miami in that championship game. You got Georgia Tech at Duke. Duke, after a rough start, losses to Tulane and Illinois. Man, guys, they've caught fire. They're 3-0 in the league. Georgia Tech's 3-0 in the league. And the Yellow Jackets got to go to Durham. This one, obviously, you got 12th ranked team and an unranked team, but this feels like a top 15 matchup just with everything that's at stake here.
Yeah, I think if you go to those two Duke losses, that Tulane game was really a toss-up there at the end, and that Illinois score is way more misleading than the game actually was. This Duke team could easily be 5-1 and ranked 18th and 19th in the country. They're really good. They are legit. They've found a really big weapon in their freshman running back, Nate Shepard. He's been awesome their last two conference games, and I just feel like at the quarterback position, Darian Mensah can give you a little bit more than Haynes King will. He's been banged up week in and week out because he runs the ball so much. And Georgia Tech hasn't turned the ball over much this year. Duke likes to force a ton of turnovers. Yeah. They did it to Cal last week, and that led to that big win. I got Duke forcing a couple turnovers and getting a big win over Georgia Tech.
Yeah. I wouldn't be surprised if Duke wins, but well, I guess they're favored. But I still want Georgia. I think Georgia Tech's just a little gritty, a little salty. Haynes King. It seems like anytime you see him on the big stage, he shows up and does well. So
I'm with you, Brian. I like Georgia Tech here, but I don't even. I mean, if they were 2.5-point favorites, it might come down the last second.
It could, yeah.
They might get the ball with 7 minutes left and bleed 6 minutes and 40 seconds off the clock. Yeah. I just like them. They had a really good, gritty win at Colorado. I mean, Colorado's not great, but still found a way to win in that situation. Yeah. 11:45. Oklahoma's at South Carolina. I do not like this for Oklahoma.
Oh, this is a...
You don't want to be a coming off a loss as a ranked team going into Columbia, South Carolina team, and I do not like this for the Sooners.
Because this has a lot of the... And not as much of a hype, but it feels similar to that hype when LSU came in early last season. And, they didn't look great. LSU ended up coming out of there with the win. But I don't think Mateer's at 100% yet with that hand. And I think them forcing the issue with this, playing him week after week, he wasn't even mentioned on the SEC injury reports, which makes me think that they think he's as close to 100% as they can get him. South Carolina's edge, Dylan Stewart, he could feast. And if he gets to Mateer too many times, it's going to be the Michael Hawkins show the remainder of the season. And Brent Venables will not be the head coach if that's the case.
I said it earlier. I'll say it again. I think Williams-Brice Stadium is underrated when it comes to environment.
Yes,
like it is
100%.
an intimidating place. Hopefully the crowd can get out for an 11:45 kickoff. If
Not much to do there.
Their stadium is nowhere near campus. It's a bit
Really?
not nowhere near. But it's not on campus. It's a bit strange.
No, just like because I've been to the basketball arena, which is near the football stadium and baseball. Yeah, it's a little far. It's not like terribly far
but
away,
it's not on
enough.
campus like most teams are.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. We got a little. I mean, we don't need to talk about this, but if Northwestern beats Purdue at home, they're going to be 5-2 and 3-1 in the Big Ten.
Yeah.
It's something to look. That win against Penn State might not be as shocking if they're sitting there 3-1 in the Big Ten.
There's still a chance that UCLA and Penn State and Northwestern can play for the Big Ten championship.
In Northwestern, they win. They've got Nebraska, USC, Michigan, Minnesota, and Illinois left. There's not one team on there that you go, they're going to get blown out. Especially and their only losses. Oregon and Tulane.
Yeah, who are two pretty good teams.
Two very good teams. And those two teams only have one loss. So I'm just throwing it. I love it when Northwestern is like in
randomly
the talks
good
for the championship game.
Well, the COVID year they played for the Big Ten championship and were that close to beating Ohio State.
Yeah, they just had a couple more athletes. We got some other games in the Big Ten. Ohio State's at Wisconsin. They're 5.5 point favorites. Will probably cover more, and that might be the game that doesn't look fickle. Michigan State's at Indiana.
That's going to show.
Indiana's 27.5 point favorites, and that might be what doesn't Jonathan Smith at Michigan State there. And you got A&M at Arkansas, and A&M only 7.5 point favorites, but I was impressed with what Arkansas was able to do against Tennessee at Tennessee last week. I think Petrino's got this team playing a little bit better, and like you were telling us, Mike, during the break, A&M is not exactly spectacular on the road.
Yeah, since 2022, I saw it on the SEC Network this morning. They are 3-10 on the road in conference games. Now, 2 of those years were bad years for Jimbo, so not a whole lot of that is on Mike Elko. But I talked about it on the show Wednesday, on Mark My Words Wednesday, that you go back and look, they are 8-5, 9-4 every year. They had a couple of the bad years of Jimbo, 5-7, 7-6, stuff like that. But they always find a way to end up going 9-4 or 8-5, and that if it's going to happen, they got to start losing games. 4 of their last 5 games on the road in the SEC, they're going to have to earn it.
Yeah,
definitely. I have them as my favorite in the SEC to win in Atlanta, but they're definitely going to have to prove it down the stretch.
I don't see this being competitive. I disagree a little bit. I think A&M's good. I think they take care of Arkansas. I think last week Arkansas had the bump that you get with the interim head coach and Bobby Petrino. You really didn't know what to prepare for Tennessee. A lot of weird things happen, like undisciplined penalties from Tennessee happen. I don't think A&M makes as many mistakes as Tennessee does from that side. I like A&M here.
And I think A&M's only played 1 road game this year. Which
is
kind of crazy,
yeah.
But Fayetteville isn't exactly a murderer's row. I mean, Notre Dame.
But so they had to go up to Notre Dame Stadium, but
there's a different coach at that time. So like you mentioned, on the road, you're at LSU, at Missouri, home versus South Carolina, home versus Sanford, and then at Texas. I mean, if that's Bama, Georgia, Tennessee sitting there, I'd be like, whew.
Yeah,
or even a Florida, because Florida's never easy to go into, but. It's not as bad as
it could be.
The LSU game is at night, so you got to raise your eyebrow a little bit to that. But that's not a murderer's row to be.
Marcel Reed had fun on that LSU defense last year, though. I will say that.
2:30, guys, a top 10 matchup. Ole Miss at Georgia. Bulldogs getting 7.5 points here. Lane has beaten some really good teams lately, but those games have been at home. If this Ole Miss team wants to be considered one of the best teams in the country, you got to win this one.
Yeah, we saw these two teams play in Athens 2 years ago. Let me pull up the score of that one because it was not close at all, and that was a very good Ole Miss team. That was 52.
That the popcorn game?
Yes. No.
That was against Alabama.
But they played back in November of 2023. Georgia won that one 52-17. That was one of those where some of those mistakes kind of compounded late. Georgia has not been very good in the first half all season against anybody. It doesn't matter if you're talking Austin Peay or Alabama. Ole Miss has been a good first half team. But contrary, Georgia's really good in the second half. Ole Miss has not been great in the second half. I think this one's going to come down to what Georgia can do on the ground in the second half. Georgia top, I think, 4 in the SEC in rushing, and Ole Miss's rush defense is second worst in the SEC. So I think that favors the big boys in Georgia. Give me the Dogs.
Lane's always good for a letdown. Call me when he wins something. And he almost did it. He almost dropped the ball to Washington State, right? Georgia will win by 2 touchdowns.
7.5-point favorites here. I'm with you. He's got he's won big games.
He's got to win one on the road.
You got to win one on the road.
Yeah.
I mean, we can say the same about Josh Heupel, and we'll talk about that here in a little bit. Some other games to look at: SMU at Clemson. SMU is 2-0 in the ACC. Clemson 2-2, not completely out of that race just yet, but just on the fringes of it. You got Texas Tech at Arizona State. I think Arizona State's still without Leavitt. So
I think he's probable, but I don't know. I don't know if him playing.
Texas Tech is just a different animal in that league.
Well, we saw Arizona State get absolutely gashed on the ground last week, and what does Texas Tech do better than really anybody in that conference is run the ball
and do it with tempo, which is huge. 7.5-point favorites there. Memphis is at UAB, who just fired Trent Dilfer. 21.5-point favorites in that game. Oregon and Rutgers. The Ducks are 17.5-point favorites there. More than likely they cover. Plus, I've been to Rutgers. It's not exactly a tough situation.
Well, and Washington handled it pretty well last week as well.
Washington State at Virginia. Virginia 17.5-point favorites. Washington State went into Ole Miss and made it close, but we'll see. I think Virginia might be. I don't know who Virginia's got after that. Let me see if this could be a potential letdown. No, they got North Carolina. They're fine.
So they'll be fine.
They're fine. They're not going to be much of a letdown there.
And Chandler Morris has been a pleasant surprise for UVA this year, the quarterback.
Yeah. Texas at Kentucky. Texas is 13.5-point favorites. Do we really know which Texas team is going to show up?
I think we're going to see a little bit more of what we saw last week at Oklahoma. I think their offensive line got a huge bit of confidence from the way they were able to run against Oklahoma's defense. I think they're going to open up the ground game a lot more, and that'll allow Arch to kind of start falling into place when it comes to the passing game.
It doesn't matter what Texas team shows up.
It's Kentucky.
Kentucky's dog poop. They're bad, and Stoops could be on his way out the door. I don't know. Maybe they're okay with living in mediocrity with Stoops.
Listen, he's got Kentucky to heights that they hadn't seen since Paul Bryant was the coach there, so I think they're okay with
that one good stretch in the early 2000s
with Rich Brooks. Yeah.
I
would say they did have a year that they almost they beat 2 number 1 teams, I believe.
They did, and both at home though.
Yeah.
None of that was on the road. Sneaky good one, Maryland at UCLA. UCLA's 2-1 in the Big Ten.
Sneaky good.
And they're
UCLA.
Yeah, and they're 3.5-point favorites there.
They have a battering ram for running backs. I mean, they throw like 6 or 7 different backs in there a game. They'll give them all 7 or 8 carries and see what works. And
they're 2-4. If they win this, they go to 3-4. But then they got at Indiana, home versus Nebraska, at Ohio State.
Oh, is that it?
Home versus Washington, at USC. But outside of Indiana, Ohio State, the rest of those are winnable, especially if you kind of continue.
Sure.
It's so funny how half of the country went from hate watching UCLA to, dude, let's let win out. I don't care. Like,
well, they're coaching like they're coaching like they. What's the phrase? Like they have nothing to lose.
Yeah.
They legit have nothing to lose, and they're creative.
Yeah.
They're doing different things. They're throwing people off guard. Like it's
Well, that's when your players can play loose too. Like your players are like, let's just go out here, have fun, prove ourselves, and we don't have to worry about any of the outside noise. They've heard it all. They just tune everyone out.
A switch flipped after Deshaun Foster was fired. After that Utah game, they looked like they did not want to be on the football field the next 3 games. Something happened when they ran out of that tunnel that Saturday against Penn State and has completely flipped their season.
Missouri at Auburn. Missouri needing to bounce back after that Alabama loss. They're only a 1.5 favorite there at Auburn. So maybe, I don't know, Vegas knows something we don't.
I don't think that they take emotional distress into the equation. That Auburn team is so deflated now. Right. I mean, you heard it at halftime. You heard it after the game. They have team captains quitting in the middle of the season. And when people are coming to to back up the running back and not your head coach, because we've heard year after year now. I think this is Hugh Freeze's third year at Auburn. Yeah. Every year we get to this point in the season, and former players start. Like Bo Wallace last year, talking bad about Hugh Freeze on Twitter and stuff like that. So
just from down the road.
Yeah, exactly.
He was not holding anything back.
No, and when you have that start to happen, I think you need to realize that it's something at the top that's trickling down. It's not the locker room. I think it's the head coach.
Yeah, Hugh could be done after this weekend. This could be it. Missouri can easily come in and handle things easily. Maybe if he's a master motivator, he gets his guys up for the Missouri game, but I don't see it happening.
And I think Drink is a much better motivator than Hugh Freeze is.
I think he's a walking dead man, and that we could be talking about on Monday. Hugh Freeze is gone. Who's the interim? Who are they going to get next?
He's got a foot in the grave, a foot in the casket, and
right.
He's waiting for the Tigers to shove him in and slam the door and win the casket.
I expect that this weekend.
Yeah. And I've heard a lot from a lot of people who know Hugh, have been around Hugh, and everything that Bo Wallace has said has pretty much been corroborated by people I know. So
and that's not looking good towards old ball coach down there.
Yeah. FAU at South Florida. South Florida 21.5-point favorites there, man. They are rolling ever since that loss. They were rolling going into Miami. The after loss been rolling.
Speaking of potential Auburn head coaches, Alex Golesh, I would much rather him go to Auburn than like Florida.
I hate him going to Auburn.
Gosh,
because we're going to see him every 2 years at that point.
Well, I'd rather him go to Auburn than Florida.
And I think that's the perfect guy for Auburn, because what were the really good Auburn teams, like the Gus Malzahn? They were putting up a ton of points. Yeah. They didn't do it under Harsin. They haven't done it really so far under Hugh Freeze. I think Alex Golesh is going to be the best offensive head coach looking for a job next year.
Harsin's got too much Petrino in him.
Yep.
Yeah.
That's as far as I'm going to go with it. USC and Notre Dame.
Not a motorcycle involved there, though.
No, there wasn't. No. They do. He does like interns.
Yes.
USC and Notre Dame, Irish 9.5-point favorites in this game. USC coming off that really good win against Michigan, but man, no one giving them much going to Notre Dame. And this, we've talked about it before. This might be the best outside of Navy. They got Navy left on the schedule. This might be this game and the Navy game could be the only chances that Notre Dame has any sort of win that will look impressive to the committee.
Well, I think what Notre Dame has done under head coach Marcus Freeman, they've started some seasons rough, but they're a team you can watch week after week, and I have this season get better and better and better every week. And USC did get that big win against Michigan, and had all kinds of heroes out for that one, especially the walk-on freshman running back. I don't know if they're going to get Wayman Jordan back, their number one tailback, and that can hurt them a lot. And Michigan and Notre Dame's offenses are on two completely different sides of the spectrum. Notre Dame is up and down the field. Michigan is trying to get up the field. And Notre Dame's defense has just gotten so much better, only giving up 27 points in the last 3 games, not more than 13, and that was to Arkansas. So give me Notre Dame. I think their defense is going to step up huge again.
Yeah.
Go Irish, I guess. Yeah.
We'll go for it.
I don't have anything else to say about that. Yeah.
Guys, we'll before we get to Bama and Tennessee, it's one of my favorite rivalries. I look forward to this game, and looking at everything I'm seeing here, it is the most expensive game to get into Saturday night. Utah at BYU, the Holy War, two of the best teams in the Big 12 outside of Texas Tech right now. BYU still undefeated, which I don't think many people, including myself, saw coming into this year.
Especially after Jake Retzlaff left.
Yeah, 6-0, 3-0 within the league. The Utes, 3.5-point favorites there in that game in Provo, and this is shaping up to be one of these instant classics that these guys just seem to get into every year.
Yeah, I think the spread favors Utah just simply off of what we saw last week from each team. BYU had to have the comeback in double overtime to beat Arizona. Utah just completely ran through Arizona State. But I think this is one of the 2 or 3 best rivalries in the country when both teams are good. I think it's going to be determined. I think Utah's quarterback is going to determine this game. Utah, number 1 rush offense in the conference. BYU, number 2 rush defense in the conference. So that's going to be one on the ground there. But I will say that if both quarterbacks are forced to be throwers downfield, it favors BYU a little bit. So because of that, I'm going to go with the Cougars.
Yeah, BYU looks good. I don't think Utah can pull it out. This is a great game, and it could be close, but BYU looks too good.
I like if it was at Utah, I would give the Utes a little bit of chance. But I will throw this out there because I watch a lot of Big 12 football because I like to torture with myself if one of the teams up here on their helmets are represented on the desk. But last 2 weeks against BYU's defense, West Virginia had success with quarterback runs, and Arizona had a lot of success with quarterback runs. Utah's quarterback likes to run.
Yes.
So if they can, especially on design runs, Arizona and West Virginia both had a lot of success against BYU. If Utah can do that and they can milk a lot of clock, they have a pretty good chance to win there. But if BYU can limit the damage there, that's probably BYU's
And hey,
game.
Dampier, 10 carries, 120 yards, 3 touchdowns last game, so he's feeling comfortable running the ball.
Yeah, he probably did triple of that when they were in Morgantown. But let's go to the big one that we're focused on, guys. Vols at the Tide. 6:30 coming up on Saturday night. The Tide 7.5-point favorites in this game.
Yeah, the spread's really been teetering between 7.5 and 8.5 all week. But again, with it's at Tuscaloosa, it's at night. The spread's going to favor them. All I've heard all week from Tennessee fans, from Alabama fans, I said it earlier, is Tennessee's defense going to be able to get stops? Well, I'll say it again. This game's not going to be determined on stops because there won't be many. It's going to be determined on turnovers. And Alabama forces a lot of turnovers. Tennessee has a lot of turnovers. I just feel like that favors Alabama a little bit. But a fun little tidbit, the team that has won this game since 2003 has won the game on the ground. Okay. But 2003 was also the year that Tennessee last won in Bryant-Denny Stadium, so maybe not. Who knows? But both starting running backs won't be at 100%. I think it's going to be, I think we're going to have a new hero be made for one of these teams, whether it's Kevin Riley or a Peyton Lewis for Tennessee. One of these backup running backs is going to play hero tomorrow. Okay.
Just let it go.
I'm sorry.
Let your Tennessee fandom go. It's okay to say you think Tennessee's going to win. It's okay, Michael. We can win in Tuscaloosa. You don't have to be scared and give Alabama. You don't have to give Alabama their credit. Like I said before, Nick Saban's not walking through that door. You need to put your big boy pants on and get ready to go down to Tuscaloosa and show them a good time, okay?
The black hoodie of death's coming out for Kalen DeBoer.
No, it's not.
I'll have my cigar ready, and it'll be lit hopefully halfway through the fourth quarter, but it just feels like, I don't know.
You're done. We're done with talking to him. No,
I'm going with Alabama.
Tennessee will win. It could be close, but Tennessee's going to go down there and win. Times are changing. Kalen DeBoer, fantastic. They can be a good SEC team, but they're not elite anymore. The door is as wide open as it has been in the past 20 years for us to be able to win down there, right?
You know what? I'll flip my pick. You convinced me. Give me Tennessee. Yeah.
Give him a shirt.
The Vols can limit the drops.
Yes.
Because Alabama's not going to give you many opportunities to hit big plays. They got to eliminate some of those drops. If they can do that, I like their chances there. And if you can kind of limit Ty Simpson to around 200 yards passing.
Yes.
If he gets above that, then that means that this offense is going up and down.
And they're going to have to get pressure on him because I've watched him the last 3 weeks. I've watched him against Georgia, Vanderbilt, Missouri. When he is given time, he is tearing defenses apart, just absolutely shredding them. Now, I will say, contrary to last year, Ryan Williams was targeted 20 times last year in this game. He got 1 target last week. He didn't do much against Vanderbilt. A little bit against Georgia. He's been a no factor for them really most of the year. I think it's going to come down to Colton Hood and Jeremy Bernard. Tennessee's going to run a lot of man. It's going to be a lot of one-on-one for those two guys. And you know what? Since I've changed my pick, give me a Colton Hood pick like Javon McCoy when we had last year.
Honestly, that's what it's going to take is a Colton Hood great play. We talked about defensive stop like Joshua Joseph's coming off the end or Tyree West coming and making a big play. It's going to take something like that. I respectfully reserve the right to change my tune come Monday morning. But until then...
See, that's why I've been reserved.
Until then, tomorrow night, Tennessee's going down to Tuscaloosa, and we're going to lay the wood.
Yeah, it's going to be a lot of fun. The game will be at 6:30. We're coming up next, guys. We'll take a look at all the games going down in the NFL. That is next here on X Sports Today.
There's a reason owners Tyler and Cindy McDowell chose the name In Service for their towing business. They did because it's their goal to be in service for you on the day that you need them the most. In-service towing is now known far and wide for their response time because minutes matter when you're broken down. Or their 24/7 availability, you can call them anytime for service. Their professional team with years of experience and their fairness, plus their know-how in dealing with the unexpected. But the thing that In-Service is known best for is how they treat their customers, and that's like family. When you need them, call them 931-843-9098.
Jack Davis Insurance, located at 201 West Gain Street in Lawrenceburg, has you covered through life's obstacles. Jack Davis specializes in group insurance for businesses and institutions of all sizes. With coverage for life, accidents, cancer, critical illness, short-term disability, dental, and vision, Jack Davis can customize a plan to meet every need. Now available Medicare plans for seniors. Contact Paige Davis at 931-492-9284 today for Medicare Supplement, Medicare Advantage, and prescription drug plan insurance. Serving Lawrence and surrounding counties since 1987, call the team at Jack Davis Insurance today at 931-242-5225.
Are you looking for the perfect refrigerator? What about a new stove or washer or dryer? It only makes sense to shop at the one place that specializes in appliances, top to bottom, big or small. And that's Kelly Appliance in Lawrenceburg. Kelly Appliance is home to all major name brands, including LG. LG makes life good with a full selection of refrigerators, cooking appliances, dishwashers, microwaves, and more, including appliances made right here in Tennessee. Family owned and family operated. Stop by Kelly Appliance on Jerry Street in Lawrenceburg today.
At Lawrenceburg Federal Bank, we're proud to be locally owned and operated because we're not just a bank, we're family. When you call, you'll be greeted by a friendly representative who's ready to discuss your banking needs, as well as offer our competitive rates on CDs and money market accounts. Our loan decisions are made in-house and never sold to a secondary market because our commitment is simple. You matter to us. At Lawrenceburg Federal, we offer all the conveniences of larger banks with a personal touch. Join us at Lawrenceburg Federal Bank, where community, trust, and service come together.
LUS is committed to our customers, from providing and maintaining energy-efficient utility services to friendly, helpful customer service. LUS is there. At LUS, we're always challenging everything we know, every day. We strive to improve efficiency and reliability while focusing on our responsibility to our customers and the community. It's our promise to provide dependable service to our customers every time. Because we don't just work in Lawrence County, we live here too.
Going the distance with local sports. This is the X Sports Network.
Welcome back to X Sports Today. AJ Gilbert, Brian Gobble, Michael Marks, and guys, let's get into week number 7 in the NFL. We already talked about the Thursday night game. Got a good one at 8:30 on Sunday morning. It's overseas at Wembley. Jacksonville and the Rams. Yeah. And we've got right now the Rams 3.5-point favorites, especially after Jacksonville coming off that tough loss at home last week.
Yeah, I'm still a big proponent for Jacksonville, and they're one of those teams that strangely plays really well overseas. I feel like they've had pretty good success.
Home.
Yeah. And Trevor Lawrence has been playing better. You know, Etienne's been playing better. Brian Thomas, remembered how to catch a football, so that's great for them.
Thank the Lord for my fantasy team that he scored the other day. Good grief. Needed that so bad.
And LA's still going to be without Puka Nacua, and I think he has been the key to getting that offense going, because I feel like without him that their offense becomes a little bit one-sided in the run game. And Kyron Williams, I don't think he's a great fantasy running back. I don't think he's the kind of running back you can lean behind for a full game. So I'm going to go Jacksonville on this one.
Yeah, I don't think Puka is playing. Is he? I think right. Yeah, Puka's out. Jaguars are doing well, but the Rams do have a pretty good defense. Like they get after the quarterback. So
Byron Young's been awesome for them.
Yeah, he has been. And then who's our Tennessee safety?
McCullough.
McCullough. Yeah, McCullough's been doing well too. I don't like these 8:30 games. I get mad. I go to church on Sunday mornings and I can't watch.
Yeah, I'm in church.
And I don't think, the Brits lost the Revolutionary War, so they don't deserve football. Why are we giving them? Why are we giving them games?
We are giving them Jacksonville.
Sure. Okay. Fine. That's fine.
I would say at the time the game was scheduled, that looked like an easy Rams win, but.
Yeah, we are giving them Jacksonville. Sure. One of the first games at noon, New Orleans at the Bears. Bears have won 3 in a row, 4.5-point favorites in that game.
They're going to win 25-24. It's going to happen again.
It's every game in the NFL. You can't predict a blowout anymore.
No.
You just can't. And two garbage fire teams, Miami at Cleveland. Cleveland actually 2.5-point favorites in this game, and this feels like Miami takes a lead with 45 seconds left, and the Browns kick a last-second field goal to win it type of game.
Yeah, this has terrible football written all over it. I pray that Dylan Gabriel isn't forced to throw the ball 52 times again. Yeah. He didn't throw the ball more than 40 times in college, and they have him going out there trying to throw it 50 times. That's not going to work. No. They have a great running back in Quinshon Judkins. I think he's been great for them this year. But I think this comes down to Tua.
Yeah.
And if this is another 2 or 3 interception game.
He stuck his foot in his mouth this week.
Exactly.
And he had to back up and apologize for it. So
if he can go out there and have a good game, which usually when you're having to spend more time apologizing in the media than in practice,
it's not a good sign.
That doesn't fare well for you. I think that this could be a 2 or 3 interception game for Tua, and the Browns win. We'll go 9-7.
Yeah. Well, Myles Garrett can get after Tua as well.
And he
might
score that touchdown. I'm going 2 touchdowns and a safety.
I've seen rumors that Achane could be traded as well. I've seen those rumors flying around.
Room in Miami's offense. What little bit they have.
Miami's dead as far as I'm concerned. The corpse is cold. Can the Browns beat them? I think they can. I don't know what'll happen between those two sad teams.
Speaking of dead, New England at Tennessee. New England just 6.5-point favorites here, but pretty much think
they'll cover.
They're cover, and then especially it looks like Ridley might be out.
Yeah. Ridley's out. Vrabel could want to be sending a message like.
Oh, I bet. So you think that guy doesn't want to?
He might let Drake May just eat for 4 quarters, even if they're up 21 points. Like he's going to let him go.
It could be another 59-0 like it was in 2011, 2012 when they went up there and played in that blizzard. But yeah, I think Vrabel wants to make a statement. You look at how his time in Tennessee ended, because I really do feel like it was he had too big of an ego for upper management, and they started taking away his good players, trading away his team, so he had nothing. So they had a good reason to fire him. Now he's back. He's got a really good team in New England. They're playing well. And what would he love to do more than come kick his old team's rear end? So
actually, our biggest point spread is Kansas City, 12.5 against Vegas. I think the Chiefs are kind of starting to put some things together here in Vegas. Mm-hmm. If it went for the Titans, might be considered one of the worst teams in the league.
Yeah, they were able to pick up a win last week. Yeah. Geno struggled, and that has been the most surprising thing for this, because he had been so good in Seattle, and then gets moved in the offseason, and Pete Carroll comes in, a guy that you think is an offensive genius, and it's just not been going well for him, making too many mistakes, and that's why they're 2-4 and not maybe 4-2, because 10 interceptions through 6 games is that's almost every game's a multiple game interception at that point.
I think Geno is probably the problem. He's just not playing well at all. I mean, it's hard to sit here and think that Pete's the problem. I mean, he is getting older. He took a year off from coaching, right? So maybe his best years are definitely behind him. There's no maybe, but I hate it for the Raiders. I mean, I like Geno. I like Genty. Who's their defensive lineman that's really good? I can't think of it. Crosby's an animal. He's just fun to watch. He can wreck a game.
That's a problem.
That's wow, interesting. But 12.5. I mean, the Rasheed Ross bump, I guess, is what the Chiefs are getting. They looked really good last week. I hate it for the Raiders, but.
Philly and Minnesota. Philly 2.5-point favorites in that game. It could be interesting in Minnesota. And
Philly hasn't looked good as of late.
No, haven't looked good as of all. Carolina at the Jets. The Jets, Carolina only a 1.5-point favorite. Carolina's perfect at home, hasn't won on the road, and the Jets haven't won at all.
Yeah, so I would say somebody's got to win here. It's been really weird just looking at how much different the Panthers look at home and on the road. I'll take the Panthers. I think they're going to get it done, and I've been a big fan of Rico Dowdle, the running back this year.
It's a 1.5.
Yeah.
It could go either way.
Yeah. Now we go to the 3:05 games. New York at Denver. I think New York is starting to put some things together. And Denver, you don't know what team you're getting. They have not been could win the NFC West type of team that we've seen so far, and they could be right for the picking here.
Well, it's crazy because right after Malik Neighbors gets hurt, everybody counts the Giants out, even more than they already were counted out. Listen, as long as Jackson Dart and Cam Scatterbo can avoid concussions, they'll be fine.
That'll be hard against the Broncos, though. I mean, the Broncos' defense is good.
Yeah.
They're legit. I mean, they stop and contain who they need to contain. Sean Payton's a good coach. So.
Yeah, I would say. And that defense, Pat Surtain, I mean, they have got studs up and down the
I think they're getting Dre Greenlaw back, the linebacker for the Broncos is coming back this week. So I don't think the Giants will win. It's fun. It's a good story, Dart and Scatterbo, but Broncos are good.
Yeah. We got the Colts at the Chargers. That might be the best game of the day. Chargers sitting at a 1.5 favorites there. Indianapolis just certainly needs to prove they can win a big game on the road, and this is a good opportunity to do so.
Yeah, it's unfortunate because it's probably going to be the Tony Romo, Jim Nantz game, so I'll just end up watching on mute.
Jim?
I don't know, Jim. But, hey, I'm still big on Daniel Jones. He has looked awesome this year. He's kind of slowed down a little bit as of late, but I still think Jonathan Taylor's getting, almost having an MVP type of season. And what a surprise Tyler Warren has been. I mean, that's probably your rookie of the year right there in the AFC. I think the Colts are a fun young team, and I think they get it done.
Yeah, the Chargers are an interesting team because they started the year so well, and they lost like 2 out of the last 3, something like that. They've lost a couple of games here.
Back to back.
Yeah,
No, it was 2 of the last.
2 out of the last 3. So we'll see how. I hate that Hampton's out. He was on my fantasy team. I passed on Tyler Warren in my fantasy draft. I'm sad about that. But the Colts are a good team. That will be a really interesting matchup.
Washington at Dallas, and you also got Green Bay at Arizona. Those two at 3:25. Cowboys 1.5 favorite. Packers 6.5-point favorite on the road. Packers probably win by a little bit more. They seem to always play really well in Arizona. Dallas has always kind of been a bugaboo for Washington, no matter how good they are.
There'll be a lot of points in that one.
There'll be a ton of points, and the nightcap, Atlanta at San Francisco, and I get Chris Collinsworth.
Why has Atlanta been getting so many Sunday night and Monday night games? It feels like they rarely play Sunday in the middle of the day.
They're getting a lot because people thought a lot of them in the early part of the year.
They have a lot of big stars.
They have
a lot of big names.
They have Bijan Robinson. It's just, do they have anybody else?
Niners might be getting George Kittle back for that game.
That would be huge.
Huge, but we'll see how this defense does without Fred Warner and Nick Bosa, both out for the year. You hate that for them. But Monday, guys, we got 2 really good ones. Tampa at Detroit, the most expensive game to get in at $249. And Detroit, 5.5-point favorites in that game. But they have been playing very, outside of, this past Monday, they've been playing really, really good.
I'm convinced that Vegas just hates Baker Mayfield. You go look at the NFL MVP odds, and somehow Patrick Mahomes has better odds than Baker Mayfield. I'm riding with the Buccaneers. I love Baker. I love that squad. I mean, they have a ton of talent. They've been similar to the 49ers in the fact that half their team's been hurt all year, so they're just having to throw some guys out there. But it looks like they're going to be getting a bunch of those guys back, the Mike Evans, the Bucky Irvings, the Lavonte Davids, all those veteran presences. And if they can, I just think they have too much talent for Detroit.
I think Mike Evans is playing. I don't know if Bucky's coming back or not.
And then Chris Godwin was also questionable.
Godwin's questionable. Egbuka's questionable. I like Buccaneers, but I guess somebody's got to score a touchdown. Baker, I guess he can throw it to Kate Otten or something like that. But, I mean, Baker's been great. And if he wins this game, then he should jump to the top of the MVP race right here. We'll see. This is a big game for Baker to see if he can do it without his weapons. I'll be interested to watch.
Yeah, I would say that will be a good one.
And you got the nightcap, late night, 9 o'clock our time, 10 o'clock Eastern. You got The Texans at the Seahawks. Seahawks 3.5-point favorites, and everyone think the Texans haven't been struggled, but their first 3 games against really good opponents, they lost by a combined 13 points, 5 to the Rams, 1 point to the Buccaneers, and then 7 at Jacksonville, and then dominate the Titans, dominate the Ravens, and Seattle's looked pretty good after losing opening week to the 49ers.
Yeah, I think the big thing for Houston, C.J. Stroud has been playing a lot better, and getting Nick Chubb out there. I know he's had terrible injury luck his whole career, but when he is out there and when he's healthy, I think he's one of the most talented running backs we've probably seen in the last 15 years. I really do, and Nico Collins has been big for them. I like Houston's weapons. Seattle has... I don't want to say they've struggled, but they took a tough loss to the Buccaneers. They didn't look great against the Jaguars. They ended up getting the win. Sam Darnold and Jackson Smith and Jigba have been big. I don't know if they have more than that, and I trust me, I think D'Amico Ryans can take away one piece from a team.
Yeah.
I think Seattle's pretty good. I'm not too high on the Texans. Stroud hasn't looked great. Their running game hasn't looked great. I do agree with you on the generational talent that Nick Chubb was,
but he's not that.
He no longer is. You can't suffer those kind of catastrophic knee injuries and be serviceable.
Because I think it was to the same knee.
Yeah. So it's hard to be. It's hard to. Props to him for getting back to where he is after like that, but. I like the way the Seahawks are playing. Good for Sam Darnold for reviving his career in Minnesota and continuing here in Seattle. You got Jackson Smith and Jigba looking good. You have a two-headed monster with Kenneth Walker and Zach Charbonnet in the backfield. They're good.
Funny enough that those guys came from Michigan and Michigan State.
And I didn't think about that. Yeah, I didn't think about that. I like the Seahawks. I like watching them play. They are 5th in total points per game and 10th in total yards per game, so they have a good offense there.
And props to Seattle and Sam Darnold for keeping his career up, because usually when you make a trade like that for somebody that had one good year, they fall off. Yeah. And he has, I think, exceeded what he was doing in Minnesota last year. And Seattle's doing this, losing their offensive coordinator from last year. Ryan Grubb's at Alabama. So new offensive coaching staff for Seattle, and they've done a great job this year. I will give them props on that.
Yeah. And my favorite game to wrap up the show, guys, what do you think is the cheapest game to get into, no cheating? And we've got a lot. Actually, literally, we have a tie, and this just happened in real time.
Okay.
We have a tie. We've got a lot of games fighting for this.
NFL and cheapest NFL.
Yeah. No cheating. Don't look on
ESPN,
no. Is what I'm saying.
I just got to have the games up in front of me. Yeah. I got 2 guesses. Okay. My first one's Panthers-Jets, just because those are the 2 worst teams probably head-to-head.
It's in New York, though, like MetLife.
No, it's cheaper. It's on the lower end of the games. $56 to get into that game.
Okay, so now I'm going to look at some games that we've had previous be the cheap games.
Didn't we? Did we talk about Dallas and Washington? Is this it?
That's one of the 2 tied to get into. It's $20.
Yeah,
it's 23. While you guys were talking, I literally refreshed the page and it dropped down to 20. Wow.
So who was the one it was tied with, or do you still want to guess that?
No, yeah.
Okay, it's got to be Dolphins Browns, right?
It is.
Okay.
So they're both $20 to get into. Colts Chargers is $31.
Well, it's in
for some reason the LA games are the cheapest ones to get into.
I would say I guess those most time.
Dallas has won this a lot.
That's weird. Yeah. I get their stadium is one of the higher end on capacity, but I mean it's Jerry's World. Do you feel like that would be the
well from the pictures and stuff you see from like the things to do in the stadium, like the interactive things that you see. I would love to go to a game for $20 there.
I just wish it wasn't in LA.
Yeah,
because it's a long trip.
That's a long way out there,
and all the things. Well, that'll do it for X Sports today here on Football Preview. We'll see you guys on Monday. Don't forget to check out all the high school football action. All 3 of our teams in action, all on the road.
Yeah.
Actually, Summertown's at Richland, Loretto's at Adamsville, Lawrence County is at Franklin County. Got all 3 games on Facebook and YouTube tonight, and we'll see you guys on Monday.
Going the distance with local sports. This is the X Sports Network.